He dug for years. He sweated, bled, lost everything. And then, 3 feet away from the greatest treasure of his life, he stopped. He quit. He sold everything. And the next man who came along found the gold in less than a week. This is the true story of a man who was so close to wealth that his hands almost touched the golden medal. But he never knew. And what happened after that changed someone else's life forever. Because sometimes, the difference between failure and fortune is just one step. A single step you give up taking. Have you ever felt like you were digging in the wrong place? That all your effort was in vain? That nothing you did gave results? Then you need to hear this story to the end. Because what you're about to discover isn't just about gold. It's about persistence, about the exact moment when most people quit, and about what separates those who win from those who fall behind. And if you're thinking about giving up on something right now, this story could change everything. It was the year 1893. The California gold rush had already passed, but there were still men willing to risk everything for a chance to find wealth beneath the earth. One of them was Darby, an ordinary farmer, living a simple life, who heard about a promising mine in Colorado. He wasn't rich. He had no mining experience. But he had a dream. And dreams, back then, were all a man needed to leave his safe life behind and head into the unknown. Darby sold what he had. He bought basic equipment. He convinced his uncle to invest with him. And the two set off for the Colorado mountains with one certainty in their hearts. They were going to find gold. And at first, it seemed like fate was on their side. Because they found it. Not much, but enough to ignite the flame of hope. Small nuggets. Thin veins of gold that glittered in the rock. It was a sign that something bigger was coming. Something great. They dug deeper. They bought better machines. They invested every penny they had. And the gold kept appearing. Little by little. But always there. Always promising that at any moment, the great deposit would be revealed. Darby worked like never before. Entire days under the scorching sun. Nights when the mountain cold cut through the skin. Bruised hands. Aching backs. But he didn't stop. Because he knew. He felt it. The gold was there. Until one day, the gold disappeared. It simply vanished. The veins dried up. The nuggets stopped appearing. Darby dug more. He tried different angles. He followed different directions. Nothing. Weeks passed. Months. And nothing. The money was running out. The equipment was wearing down. His uncle began to doubt. And Darby began to feel the weight of failure. That weight that crushes your chest and whispers in your ear, you failed. You bet everything and lost. And then, he made the decision. The decision that would change everything. He sold. He sold the mine. He sold the equipment. He sold everything to a local junk dealer for a few bucks. Just enough to pay off the debts and return home with his head down. He quit. He was exhausted. Defeated. Convinced that mine would never have more gold. That he had been fooled by fate. That luck wasn't on his side. The junk dealer who bought the mine wasn't a dreamer. He was a practical man. Someone who understood business and geology. Before continuing to dig, he did something Darby never thought to do. He called a mining engineer. An expert. Someone who could read the earth like reading a book. And the engineer studied the mine. He analyzed the rocks. He calculated the geological faults. And then, he said something that made the junk dealer's heart race. The gold hadn't disappeared. It was there. Just 3 feet from where Darby had stopped digging. 3 feet. Less than 10 steps. The distance between total failure and unimaginable wealth. The junk dealer resumed work. And in less than a week, he found the largest gold deposit in that region. Tons of pure gold. Wealth enough to transform generations. Darby never knew. He returned to his farm. He lived the rest of his life with the weight of having quit too early. But his story didn't end there. Because years later, he told this experience to a young writer named Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill transformed this story into a powerful lesson that appeared in the book Think and Grow Rich, one of the most influential personal development books of all time. The lesson was simple, but devastating. Most people quit 3 feet from gold. They get so close to success, they can almost touch it. But they don't know. They can't see. And they quit at the exact moment when they should try one more time. One more day? One more attempt. And this isn't just about mining. It's about everything in life. How many people quit a business 1 month before it takes off? How many abandon a relationship days before the moment when everything could align? How many stop training weeks before seeing the first results? How many closed the doors on a dream exactly when opportunity was knocking on the other side? The problem isn't the lack of gold. It's the lack of persistence. It's the lack of vision. It's quitting when the pain seems greater than the reward. It's believing that the silence of the earth means there's nothing down there. But the earth doesn't scream. The gold doesn't call. Success doesn't warn you when it's near. It simply waits. It waits for whoever will keep digging when everyone else has stopped. And the truth is that the world is full of Darbys. Talented people. People who worked hard. People who were so close, but who quit too early. And what separates them from people who win isn't luck. It isn't talent. It's the willingness to take one more step when everything seems lost. It's the courage to dig deeper when logic says to stop. Because failure doesn't happen when you fall. It happens when you decide not to get up. Failure isn't taking the wrong path. It's giving up on finding the right path. Failure isn't not finding the gold. It's selling the pickaxe 3 feet before reaching it. So if you're struggling now, if you're tired, if you feel like nothing is working out, remember Darby. Remember that he was 3 feet from the gold. And he didn't know. And ask yourself, what if I am too? What if my breakthrough is 1 step away? What if all I need to do is keep going? Just a little more. Just one more day? Just one more try? Because the difference between those who quit and those who win isn't the size of the obstacle. It's the size of the determination. And sometimes, the greatest wealth of your life is buried right there. 3 feet deep. Waiting for you. Waiting to see if you'll quit, or if you'll dig just a little bit more. Tenar novamentio Claude Pod Commodore Eros. Confira semper as respostas. Sonnet 4.5.